4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. We are here. We are alive. We are in the Show Up Throwdown number 18. And tonight's a little different. We're going to record this one. And tonight's talk topic is your damn goals. That's about as cursing as we're going to get inside of this community. And our goal is we're going to show up no matter what. We had another event planned for tonight. Life happens. We're still here. And that's our goal, to always be here. Speaking of here, I got a partner in crime already here, another co-host, John McBride. I'm going to invite John in, and we're going to talk about our goals. If anybody else shows up, they can join in too. John, I'm inviting you in right now. And I'm just really happy that we're keeping this rolling. Yes, straight up. Here we are. Hey.
Hey.
How are you? Yes, we are here. And I thank you for being here. And, thank you for being invested in this like I am. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week, right? It's okay.
It has been, and I was journaling a little while ago, a little video journaling, just saying that yesterday we had a fall apart. But we've already recovered because that event is going to happen on Saturday.
Sure.
And it's just being willing to stretch, what you got to do. But it was all because of a time change. And you guys live in Arizona, and you guys don't do that, which I think is really great. And I wish the rest of the country would be cool like you guys. But
you guys got all those farmers, though. They got to get up early, and they need that time change to help them, right? Is that how that started?
I don't remember who it was, but it was like, I remember seeing this thing like, only a fool would think that you could cut the top half off a blanket and sew it to the bottom and think you have more day. You don't. Or have more blanket. You don't. So you and I were talking a few minutes ago on the phone. We were just talking about goals. And, one of the things I was talking about on here in terms of growing this was a media kit. And Dan Roth inside the community, he's the one that kind of put that out there. And I appreciate the fact that I don't need to know everything. And neither do you, and neither does anybody. Everybody just acts so put together out in the big world. But inside here, I shouldn't say inside here, when you're around people you can trust and you can just show up as your authentic you, and authentic isn't a buzzword, it kind of feels refreshing. So
I agree.
Yeah. So tell me about your darn goals. I mean, we can circle back to mine. I am doing a media kit and all that great stuff, but I don't have it in me to do a good job on it tonight. Yeah. So I'm not gonna. But I want to hear about your stuff.
Yeah, I think you've heard. I've talked about this a couple times. One of my goals, it's an overarching goal to give back. I've been doing this. I've been a designer for a long time, worked several places, plus some life experiences, thrown in there. I remember what it was like to be a young designer, and you're rough around the edges, scrappier, and just raw talent, and then having these others that have been around longer help you and teach you a few things, and hey, let me share some wisdom on you. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. I mentor a guy at work. There's a new guy who started, and I'm so happy because he sees me kind of helping people. He's now coming over and getting me regularly, like, hey, can you take a look at these designs and give me some feedback? And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And the fun for me is I get to see somebody else's cool work that I haven't. I'm surprised with it for the first time. Like, oh, look at this. I mean, this guy's working on these inflatable water parks, and he has to have these cool themes. And he's showing me, I took this feature and integrated this and stuff I have never seen before. I'm just like wowed. But he was stuck on a couple things, and I'm like, well, my number one rule. Give them what they ask for, and then you show them the one that you would like to do and explain why. But anyway, helping, just giving back is an overarching goal. But I think the other goal that I've been slacking a little bit on getting it off the ground, but life gets in the way sometimes, but you got to keep pushing. Is getting we talked about this too, my apparel, but I did start artwork. I got a couple thumbnails for a Legends shirt logo I'm working on,
I love it.
and just starting to get into doing Mustang lifestyle stuff. I want to do my projects. I've got a Fox body. I don't want to give it away yet. A Fox body project, but it's a fantasy kind of thing. It's not like designing a real car. It's designing a car for a fantasy world. I can't, because I don't want
No,
to spill the beans yet. But I did
no, 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 no. It's all
yeah,
good.
yeah.
All good.
I'm starting. Yeah, the darn goals are starting to do. I've been building. What do you call it? I've been designing everybody else's dreams for so many years, and it's like I've got some of my dreams. I want to start doing
That's so
something.
interesting you say that. Like, I mean, I'm in a part now where when you and I were talking about like this thing right here,
Yeah,
this is something that it's like starting from scratch. It's like a little baby and teaching it to walk and all of those things. And I haven't been in this season. I'm in my mid 50s. I haven't been in this season since I was in my early 30s. So it's about taking, and it's a whole different playground. But
yeah,
like I had somebody reach out to me about a project, and I haven't talked to this person in a couple of years, and you have those too. And it's kind of like, hey, are you interested in taking on a project? And this is just true talk. I've been so long in a different area that when he reached out to me, I had to get back into that spot. And
right.
of course, I said yes. I'm always going to say yes. And then I asked him a couple questions, and I said, but it wasn't a rush. When I was young, cutting my teeth, I needed to know now because the
Yep.
mortgage payment and the diapers and all of this stuff. So now it's nice to be able to say, here are the questions. Don't have to have the answers right now. Get back to me on Tuesday, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm grateful to be able to say that now, but I felt that pause come over me because we've run for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
I still
No,
want
I
to
hear
come.
you. Yeah, I mean, there's other goals. Working on my car is always a goal. That's my therapy. I've got three to pick from, plus a brake job on my wife's car. So
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yesterday I needed to step off of all of this. I'm a firm believer since November, since I got done with one other chapter with my dad. Ever since then, I've really cemented and I remind myself when I forget. Doesn't mean you're going to remember all the time, but when you do remember, recover and reset. But it's a 70-30 rule forever now. 70% with 30% wiggle room. Yesterday, it was okay to stop. I didn't get everything off my checklist, and I was pruning trees because I really just needed to get outside. Sometimes you got to be underneath your car. Sometimes I needed to dig a hole. I'm being metaphorical.
yeah,
Sometimes I want something as you could be out there with a blowtorching weeds.
just thinking that I was like, I got this monster blowtorch thing. I'm like, okay, hon, hang out with. This is a bonding time where you're going to be here with the hose. Make sure I don't burn the house down.
Yeah.
Or half
But
my yard.
sometimes we need that stuff.
Yeah, distraction.
And it's really important to pay attention to those things.
Yeah.
Because the list is never going to end.
Yeah.
But it's
when
still,
you're doing.
Go.
When you're separated from these things too, sometimes it's like when you get stuck on designing something, you walk away from it and you think about, you get refreshed, like, oh, I got a whole other perspective on it. I think the same thing can happen with goals. Like you're out there doing watering the lawn. Maybe some people like the water. My dad always loved to water the lawn with the hose and stand there with a beer. He just stays his thing. But he was, I think, when I'm doing these things.
Yeah.
And you're not focused on it, but you're out here and it just thoughts. You can clear your mind.
Connecting dots. When you're young and you're running basically sideways and your mind is 10 minutes behind. sometimes you need that time now as we get older to do exactly like what your dad, right?
Do you think, or do you think faster than you can talk sometimes? Like, I have so many ideas all the time. They come out like a fire hose, and I've been that way my whole life. And when I was younger, like you said, I was way worse. I would get 8 pages inked and half the story written on a comic book. Oh, I got a whole nother thing. I mean, characters, everything, story. I push it to the side. I start another one. I'm like, I'm never gonna finish these. I just got a
Mm.
better idea. And yeah,
No, I totally get it when you say, like, I mean, I remember one time during one of these episodes, I said, "See this back here? This is my head."
yeah,
Just like that Hot Wheels case. I remember using an example like in an interview, and I just said, like, I'm on the 50-yard line and the stadium is full and every seat is yelling because it's an idea, and you welcome one of those people, one of those ideas down onto the 50-yard line, but that empty
yeah,
seat is rapidly replaced with another idea. So there'll never be a shortage of noise.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was telling you today, at my job, they the R&D can't keep up with the designers, especially myself. And it's like, like I was telling you, I can bury these guys with innovation and creativity. It's
Yeah.
like you got to get yourself a room full of more engineers to
What,
keep up
what,
with all the
what did
ideas.
what did you say? You said something about like a volcano.
Oh yeah, it's a creative volcano. It's never stop erupting. It just keeps going and going, and the lava flow is just coming out.
I love it. I
Within a
love it.
couple of days, I'll have a continent formed of ideas.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, what's so interesting is like if you really, but it's really interesting, but it's also perplexing because it's like you have this plethora of ideas, but you don't have the engineers to support all of this. And that's got to feel really, are you guys abroad because that's where the labor is the cheapest? It's not that that's where the smartest people are, but are you guys,
Yeah.
and we're keeping the name of the company out of it. But I mean, do you find that that's hard because you know that there's the resources out there to get this stuff done,
Yeah.
but you're only as strong as the weakest link of your chain?
Yeah. Well, the one of the great things is the owner of the company. When you ask him what's the number one thing he expects, and you know what he says? Innovation, number
Mm.
one. So they want it, and they want lots of ideas, and we do this. We even have something every year called a global ideation process. It's 3 months. All the designers, you got 2 months. You got other things going on, but you got 2 months to come up with new concepts, and then we put them together and we present globally. Like everybody is on a Teams call, and they want people to come up with 20 apiece. And when you
Wow.
add it up, we're talking a couple hundred at least. And I've got like 4 or 5 going forward this year.
Hmm.
And I'm pretty sure one of them for sure is going to be incredible. It's going to be really cool. It's funny, the simple ones too, right? The simplest ones it's like, God, why didn't I think of this before? Like, it's not the complicated pool robot with all this innovation. It's this one simple, affordable product. Like, oh my, it's like a aha. Like, why has nobody thought of this? Why didn't I think of it?
Yeah, it's
But
like
yeah,
building a better mousetrap in the world to be a path to your
yeah.
door.
So they have these goals of back to the whole goals. Like, we want to just crush with innovation, but I'm like, we need the resources to keep it moving, because we have all these ideas, we can never get to them. There's even one idea I came up with. I can't get into talking about it, but if we took it to an outdoor retailer show and put it there in our booth, it blow minds apart. But because we don't have a good supply chain set up currently, the rechargeable battery that we need to get the performance out of this thing is extremely expensive. So it won't hit the price point, but the product is so innovative. It's like if you made this, I don't think you could. I even agreed. If you charge it $1,200 for this, I will go to the retail store and buy it to get one. I just want one.
You can't do anything with like solar panels or anything.
No. Yeah, I wish I could tell you what it is. It's
You
super.
don't.
It's crazy. It'd be so much fun. Everybody would want one. You'd keep it on your boat with you wherever you went. It's very portable. It's fast. But anyway, it's having and it's anything like when we have goals, right? We need resources. We need time.
Yeah.
We've got a busy life, and you got to make the goals happen. You got to figure it out.
I think that's the one thing that you either I want to either inherently have it or you don't. We were talking just a minute ago, and I'm also just like when I listen to you and I, we hold a good conversation, and that's just from a lot of lives doing this. And right now, you and I are really just having a conversation. Period. But going back to when we're younger and just running around like a chicken with his head cut off, figuring out how to harness that energy to now, so you can say like, yeah, I have all these great ideas, but I know that this one, and this one I can convert. I'm going to spend my time on them. But it also comes down to, I'm a chase person. I'm not a destination person. Like, I don't ever want to stop running. I love the chase. I loved the chase when I was younger. I don't know if that was something that was taught to me because of my father or what have you. He had his own advertising agency, and then we had a family business and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But he just wasn't, that was just the way he was wired. So maybe I just learned that, maybe that's just learned behavior. But talking to you earlier, and just talking to like Dan, and just things that I need to do to make this thing open up more. I need to be willing to put myself in situations I haven't been in before, but there's also the comfort of knowing that it's going to be okay no matter what. So no one can hold it hostage, Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But man, the first step is like where you just got to throw yourself in there, cannonball in the pool, man, and go for it. Just do it. And, I have to tell myself the same thing sometimes. Like, you know what? Hey, I want to see that new movie or the next episode of a TV show tonight, but you know what? I need to get up there and put in a couple hours and do some sketches or, whatever, do something, and go work on that idea in CAD. Go get that wrapped up, finish something, get it going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Even though I hung out in a tree yesterday and I did some branch cleanup today, I still got a lot accomplished, but I didn't get everything accomplished that I wanted. And when I sent out 5 emails. One of them came back, wet cracker reply, like basically just don't waste our time. We don't even want to know. 2 never replied. And 2 came back, not only replied, but also came back with go here next. So that's a 40% return on 100% investment. That's a pretty good return.
Yeah.
So like when I think about open networks, and I'm just actually processing right now in real time talking to you, like 40% return is a good return.
Yeah.
It's a really good return. And what it told me was I did this without a media kit. And it told me that my preloaded Word document that I will copy and paste and then readjust to who it is, that the replies that they back to me, they're like, oh, this is what you're looking to do, X, Y, Z. What they didn't realize is they're giving me information to make sure that I reword it better the next time. So it's still not a loss. I'm still learning. And it's kind of
cool. It's like digital photography, right? You take 100 pics to get 40 good ones, or even 20.
Yeah. Yeah, but even if I send out 10 and I get 1 back, 1 is 1. That's still good. Yeah. And in that 1 is hope. And in that 1 is if you can bring 10 people in, we're not talking about hundreds of thousands. This is a grassroots movement. But those 5 know 5, and then eventually it starts to cascade, multiply, but control the narrative the whole time, meaning we're here, as I told you on camera, off camera, like we're here because we're just ready to be intentional, and we don't need to be around people that suck the air out of the room. We don't need to be around all that rubbish where people need to perform. This is a spot where we can just sit down and talk, right?
That's it.
I dig it. I'm drinking my tea with honey.
What do you got?
Snap on.
Snap-on. I use my
Yeah.
wife's white Yeti. I use these hers because mine are all dark colored. I go out in the garage if I got greasy hand and I got to pick up a cup. Like it's like you got my white cup all messed up. Like, well, don't get white ones.
Don't get white ones. The only reason why I have that is my nephew, for a very short while, had a Snap-on route, and he got
Right.
done with that within a year. He lost a bunch of money, but he got done with it in a year, and he went back to his union job, which was he should have never left in the first place. But you don't know, and he wanted to go do this
Yeah.
thing. And but when you have to weaponize and inventory a big truck and all of the stuff that goes along with it, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple friends that do that, and I'm like, oh man, you got to be a salesperson, right? You got to really be able to sell and hustle. I mean,
Yeah. Well, he bought from Snap-on headquarters like cases and cases of these cups, because if you buy $120 10 millimeter wrench, whatever, you get a cup. So, like, I guess my understanding is there's a goal. What's your goal? I got to tie it back into our theme, but it was about always working an angle. And these guys, these are the Snap-on independents. They run their own stuff, and carrying around $5,000 toolboxes inside there because like somebody might want one.
yeah, I don't know. I'm glad you think about the tools you use for your job. I mean, some of the software is pretty expensive, but man, think about the thousands on tools.
Yeah, yeah.
You better be sure about your goals.
What's that? I'll be sure about what your occupation, what you're going to do.
Your goals for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know mechanics that got over $100,000 in tools, and it's an ongoing thing.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, totally a little bit different. I was having a conversation with, he'll be here within the month. He's from South Africa. So I think it'll be neat to have him here. There's 6 hours ahead, so he'll never be on one of these, but he would be on one of these if we curtailed it a little earlier. And he has his own networking hub, and he and I we became fast friends, I don't know, a year and a half ago. And we've been going ever since in terms of just checking in. So even though today we were talking and I just started asking him some questions, like I asked him his why. And he unpacked it because I was baiting him. And then I told him after, I'm like, I'd really like to interview you inside of our community. Oh, I said, oh, no, this. You really, I think it'd really be wonderful. He's in content, music, media, and film.
Yeah,
So he's
wow.
he's an independent artist. He's a creative, but he's also built this networking hub of all of those people. So servant heart, he's a servant heart, and his jam is helping people that are new to the scene in terms of their portfolio building. And I just want, not necessarily, his model doesn't work with what we're doing, apples and oranges, but it's about talking to his passion and his goals. I don't care about how he uses TikTok and WhatsApp, which he does, and we don't, but he's using his things that work for him. But to celebrate and he's close to our age, maybe a little bit younger, what made him decide to do this thing. And he just told me today, he's like, I just want to help people. I just want to help people. I love it.
I think I get more energy out of that than, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love designing something and seeing it come to life and go on the shelf. To see somebody grow and learn and help them get to where you're at or closer, it's like, it's exciting to watch it unfold.
Yeah. So you get something really exciting about like walking up an event and seeing like there's a thing that I built on that car, or this is the project I built with a team. But there's also that thing about putting some lift underneath the wings of somebody coming up.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
But it's also about being a gatekeeper too. Not a gatekeeper in terms of you can't come in here, but a gatekeeper in terms of teaching integrity to the craft. Being a good steward to what you know, like when we do our legends thing, the people that were your legend, You want to be that to somebody one day. Somebody who's willing to dump it out for you. And we live in a world that can feel real self-serving sometimes. And humans are just designed to serve each other. I feel best when I'm serving somebody. Feels good.
It's funny, it ties into this too, because when I talked to Mark, I said, this is year 2 now. I kind of wanted our first year to like, you help me with a couple projects. I'll help you on a couple of your projects. Let's kind of feel each other out, where we're at, and what we want to learn. And then now going into year 2, like, hey, so my new approach was, okay, I learned some things on how to do better, right? How improve, like new tools for mentoring. So before we even started, I said, where do you want to be in 2-3 years here, or in your career? What are your goals? And let's come up with goals and things you want to learn how to get to that. And then I'll help you specifically, like sniper style. Like we'll focus on just those. And what was great is I had some written out and I didn't show them. And then we went over it, and at least 2 of them, maybe 3 overlapped. I'm like, perfect. So
Nice.
that's helping them, and it's like, it's not about what I want to get out of it. It's what do you need to learn? I'll get something out of it either way. What I'm getting out of it is helping you.
That's right.
Yeah, and I want to see what you design. I want to see your ideas come to life.
Yeah. I think it's a nice thing is learning to ask good questions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then that person maybe goes home and they're talking to whoever they're doing life with when they're not at work. And they're like, I really like that McBride guy because I feel heard and seen by him. I feel heard and seen. Yeah.
I learned that. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, and it doesn't take a lot to do that.
Yeah, I learned that. It's funny. I learned some interesting things with Chris Wilkins. He's my buddy here. We've done a lot of SEMA cars together in the last 20 years. He's the builder, painter. I design it. He prototypes and tools, the new stuff that I design for the cars. It's funny. He would always say, he would have his goals, and we got to get to SEMA. We're gonna get this car. We're gonna do this. But what's funny is he never wants to be the guy up front. He would always say, I'm just the janitor. I'm the guy in the back. You guys pushes everybody up front, and it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
he's a smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
But to have that kind of, again, it's being humble, right, and helping others. And he said the whole idea is that everybody wins. That's the point. So
that's totally the point.
Yeah.
When you can, like when we were talking about, it's like if you can think of it as a hub and everybody is a spoke and they make that wheel spin. That's a really nice way to be thinking. And there's that big fear out there that if I help somebody out or I show them off, that's gonna be like taking away from me. No, it actually does totally the opposite. Like I always talk about like throwing shade. We don't throw shade here. We shine floodlights. We shine high beams. A lot of candle watt here, and it's really empowering. It's really liberating, and it makes people feel safe to say, I really need help with something.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to a couple of the creatives at the company I work at, and I'm over in the creative department. There's all these creatives, and one of them overheard me talking to one of the media guys, and she was asking me questions about him. Like, she says, is it like a Facebook group or something? Like, no, it's nothing like that. I said, what's great is you're with like minds, like creative minds. We're all there to help. Like you say, servant hearts. We're there to just learn from each other, help each other, enjoy each other's company, and have a good time. And and she's like, that's interesting. And I mentioned the agency, and if you got ideas, like we do.
Yeah, and it's not agency like we're playing on the word agency. Agency means two different things. I work for agency, or I have agency.
Yeah. I
have ownership. I have agency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She knew what I was talking about. She says, that's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah, it's if there's an ego, you're not welcome.
No, that's not what we're doing here. And those people they wouldn't want to be here anyway because they would realize that we weren't. They would realize that there's more than enough people that have enough to talk about here, and that's not what we're here to do. And
Yeah.
they'd be like, we don't, you know what I mean? We don't sit around having to impress each other. No, seventh grade was, when was seventh grade? Seventh grade was a long time ago, like 1980 something, 80,
Yeah, yeah,
80 or 81 or 82.
yeah,
Yeah, long time. Long time. I got a calculator here somewhere. Long time.
yeah. Calculator. Let me get on my abacus.
Yeah. Where you slide the little, there you
Yeah,
go. So, you know, what you do with her is the next time if it comes up, say, yeah, we did this thing last night. Tell her, say, we had another event. It totally fell apart. Well, what did you
yeah,
guys do? Hey, there's the puppy right behind you.
yeah. She got valley fever. That's what we found.
Yeah. Sick
She'll
puppy.
be. I think she'll be okay.
Yeah.
She'll be in that, but
No, I was gonna say when you talk to her, you say, yeah, we had something totally fall apart. Well, what'd you guys do? Well, we still showed up and we had a conversation. We talked about you. What do you mean you talked about me? Yeah, we talked about. So then
yeah,
Scott had this great idea, like, hey, could I interview you? And then she'll be like, what? Say, yeah, I'm interviewing Carrie. I interviewed Carrie on Saturday.
yeah,
So what was that like? Oh, Carrie loved it. Because we would love to
yeah,
hear your story. I don't know.
yeah. I think the next guy I think I can have come in will be Ben. This guy Ben Hermans I was telling you about a little bit. He's another hot rod guy, car designer. He's phenomenal talent. I think he would be interested. He would be a great ad here. Not an
Yeah.
ego, no ego. He was actually in town here in Mesa, I think a couple weekends ago, and we almost met up for lunch. And that's where I was like, hey, I want to see how you're doing. How's it going? Um, it's funny. Like I was telling you, we are each other's competition or work for a while. I'm kind of going in another direction now, but man, we were very good friends. I've passed work in his direction. He's just a good guy,
Yeah.
and I think he'd have a ball in here. Man, I'd love for him to come in here and join up and share.
Well, I can do it. I mean, right now we've got that family pass.
Yeah,
And,
I'm gonna
and as time comes on, like I'm exploring with these other organizations, and if they come in, they're gonna have their own batch too, so they can all feel like these little teens. I think that makes them feel, but like with him, or anybody in that, I'm just thinking out loud right now. Everybody, I'm thinking out loud in real time. These can be like VIP interview passes. They can be a bunch of different things, but it can be a VIP extended pass where I want you to come in and hang out for a couple of weeks. So we have a couple that are in here on that now, but it's one of those things that you also hope that ownership and agency, while you're here, weaponize out your page. Put up your links if you have a link. Put them up.
Yeah.
That's what we're here to do. And there are some people inside this community that really got their portfolio, or not their portfolio, their profile looking really good. I've got five or six links on mine because there will come a time where there's a lot of people here and they're going to want to say, like, where's all Scott's stuff? Well, it's on his page. Click a button. You can't do that on channels.
No, that's awesome. But for this, I think that's my goal. Is I'm gonna start really getting these links out and getting people interested in coming. I mean, I've been talking to people, but I think I'm gonna focus a little bit more. I will reach out to my Crayola guy tonight. I'll say, hey, when you got time.
Yeah, tell him that we want to do an interview. Want to interview him. Whatever. That's what we're. Like this Saturday works. Next Saturday wouldn't work because of the way my schedule is. But I'm able to. It's whatever. It's one of those things. It takes what it takes, whatever it takes. Because your person from there, you can remove that title. I think it's rad that that's where he's from. But even if he wasn't from there and he was still somebody that you thought would add value, again, we're not talking about headlines here anymore. But they also, if they enjoy it, they'll be like, I know a couple of people that need to be a part of this thing too.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost a lot to keep the lights on here. It's and it means a bunch of different things to different people. We have people in here networking like crazy, and we have people that come in here for our lives because, like you said, they just love being around people that speak the language.
And man, the servant heart this guy has, I learned a lot from him. He was my manager at Crayola, but man, it was weird because we'd work together. It didn't feel like he was my manager most of the time.
Team
He's just
leader.
the talent of this that oozes out of this guy is like insane. And so many different things. And one of the things I love that we did together, I think we did it 3 or 4 years in a row. We traveled to the school in New York City. They have a toy design program. I'm trying to think of the design school. But he knew the director there very well, and we would come there and share projects that we worked on, and got to talk to the students and tell them about toy design and help them with their talk to them about projects and challenges. What's it like designing toys? And man, it was so rewarding to do, and he loves doing that kind of stuff.
Well, I want him here. I want him here, at least if anything, to interview him because, if anything. So if you'll reach out to him, I took a couple screenshots. I'll send you some screenshots, and you'll be like, "This was Scott and I tonight. We had this whole thing fall apart, but we still showed up and we talked shop." We got goals, man. But
was it throw up and throw down?
Yeah, the throw up man. Yeah, well, maybe I might have to come up with a new name. But
I like it though. I like that.
Not if you can't get it right.
I can get it right. You're the one that taught me the wrong way.
Hey, everybody, it's called the Show Up Throwdown, but sometimes when John's hammered, we call it the Throw Up Showdown.
Creativity.
Hammered on creativity. I know I'm definitely not going to be on herbal tea with honey.
There's a shirt for IA. Get hammered on creativity.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I don't know. This just hits different, what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And I really, so when people are like, what is it? Like you were saying, like when she was asking, what is it? All you can really say is, what do you want it to be? What is LinkedIn to you? What is Facebook to you? What is Instagram to you? Like, what is Substack? What are all these things that you're on? What is it to you? Is it entertainment? Is it research? Is it this, that, or the other? Well, it's all those things. Well, that's what this is too. Except here, the narrative is controlled and there's no doom scrolling because everything here is rad. There's nothing unnice here. There's nothing controversial here. There's nothing. It's just celebrating why we want to be what we are and giving us a spot to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do have some new projects I'm going to be posting up here. I'm going to put at least one up tonight. But I've been going through some more of my projects and just want to, I like to show the process. Like here was a design.
Yeah.
This one has a bunch of graphics. I did all the graphics on this one and
nice.
And made it to a pre-production sample, and then it's a really cool kids bed race car theme inflatable that almost made it to Walmart.
Almost.
Yeah, well, we had. You know how it is when you have a product out so long and then it starts not selling. Let's do a refresh, and they change their mind. Then you call these great designs like, you know what, the kids beds, I don't know if they're selling anymore. Like, man, we did like a pirate ship theme one. I did a race car, and we did some spaceship that had this really cool heads-up display on. It was killer. And man, the whole team. That was when I was managing the team, and we were all crushing it. We were there on a Saturday. I bought coffee, donuts. This is half day. We're gonna just crush it. We're gonna get it done for Walmart. And then Monday they're like, meh. Like, but look how cool they look.
Yeah, look how cool they look.
So but man, we learned a lot, and what was great about it, look at the positives, right? That's also a goal of mine this year is to focus on the positives. Even when things get difficult, like, hey, if you focus on the negative, you can't move forward with the positive.
No, that's kind of like doom scrolling. Don't doom scroll. Stay informed, stay educated, stay in your know. But oh my gosh, quit pouring gasoline on your internal fire.
Yeah. Don't flood the motor.
Don't flood them. Stop pumping the pedal.
Damn it.
Yeah. Stop it. You're gonna flood it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm gonna be posting up some more projects. I like to make sure. I was having a hard time finding the actual finished good. I had everything else. I'm like, why that? I would have posted it sooner. So I do. That's another goal. I want to get back to posting more projects if it'll inspire people. Um, yeah, I want to do more of that.
Right on. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
What do you got going on? What you got anything radical you're working on?
And this is turned
Everything.
into, this is pretty all encompassing right here. But the project that I've got, if I, this one that this guy was reaching out to me about, was a custom that he just finished, and he wanted some renders of it. And I said, well, what are you looking for? Because in the past I've done regular renderings, originals for him, but we've also gone off into full design work, which is different because it's like I can give you something that goes on your wall, like that Mustang image behind you, an actual rendering, or we do a full composition where it's got everything, and now it's also a digital asset. It's going on this, it's going on these things behind you, it's going on it's whatever you want it to be. So, and then that's all. And then like I explained to him, that's all budget dictated. The originals, if he wants an original, those are all fixed sizes and fixed prices because I have a stylized way that I produce them, so I can produce them in a timely manner, still get a good daily rate, and it's still a reasonable price. I mean, my originals start out at $400 and they go up to $900, for an original.
Yeah.
And that's a day's rate to 2 days rate, depending,
Right.
and
Yeah.
it works. It works. But with all of these things that are going on now, like my life looks different doing this stuff. We'll just see what he says. Design work, totally different thing. Now that's not we get it done in X amount of time. Now it turns into more of a living and breathing thing that requires back and forth looking at it,
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, reach out. Yeah, I am going to try and get. I've got that client again. It's part of the list. The list of things, the goals that I got planned for right now. I almost got that.
70%. Don't go past 70.
Yeah. No, I know. This one's an easy one. Finishing up this that box body that local guy wants to build. He's got some money to spend, so I want to finish the rendering. There's not much to do on it left, but this is where if he wants to do it, I'll pull in Brittany and John, and I think I want them to do the carbon parts because I could have my buddy Chris do it, but I think he's a little distracted with a lot of things right now, and I really want to work with Brittany and John because John, I think, takes the carbon stuff to a whole nother level. Like,
oh yeah, and everybody that is watching this in the future, Brittany and John are spokes on this wheel in this community. They are carbon fiber aftermarket, and whenever we can tap inside of our own Rolodex inside of this space, well, that's what we do. And also everybody inside of the space, if they don't know it, they know somebody who does, and that's pretty cool.
And I got to tap into you for the print on demand.
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty close to getting something going, like started. I got to have artwork, and then once I have it, then I'll set up my Shopify and.
Yeah, and that's the thing is they, like that company, I'll hand you off a link, and my point person, you apply to work with them. It is not like Custom Ink or Big Cartel or any of those things. This is a group that, they work with commercial accounts, but their stuff is the best. That's when we talk about do a few things and do them well. I have no desire to have like a heat press here. Like I know there's an artist that I know, gonna leave the name out, does incredible work, but he even does the t-shirts too. And I talked to them one day and I'm like, it's not that it's beneath you. It's not beneath anybody to do anything. I'm up in a tree pruning a tree yesterday. But when you're out there chasing around $2 t-shirts and you got your $1,000 heat transfer thing, and you're buying decals. You're sitting there pressing shirts, 12 shirts for a person, when you could go send this to a
Yeah.
partner that does that full time, and you could keep your head in the game of generating your artwork. But I framed it in a way saying it's not that that's beneath you. And if you're a control freak and you got to control it all, that's great. But let pros do what they. I couldn't stand wearing a big iron-on vinyl thing on me. It would drive me flipping crazy.
Well, not only that, what do you want to focus on? What do you really want to spend your time on? And I know when I was younger, I want to do everything. I can do it all. I'll learn. I'll save money. But it's like then you get a little older and you're like you learn like I don't want to spend my time doing that. I want to like with the shirts. I want to do designing, the marketing, coming up with the next idea. I don't want to be shipping guy.
No, and they drop ship and they
No.
handle it all. So, like, I mean, that's a perfect example. Listen, I don't want to be working on I don't know, you could say, I don't want to be working on a $3,500 project and I got somebody blowing up. First off, no one has my cell phone number. You can't even find my phone number on my website. That's on purpose. Send me an email. But you don't want to be on a job and someone's calling you or blowing up because they have a shirt that you got from a substandard fulfillment company and there's failure after the first wash. A shirt that you've only made $9 profit on. You want to know that if you're only going to make $9, I'll make $8 knowing I never have to look back.
Yeah.
I'll give you the dollar. I'll give you that extra dollar. I don't ever want to look back. I want to know it's done because I'm on to the next thing. I don't need anybody saying, my shirt fell apart. You don't want them talking smack about your product, so it's really important. You also you got bigger things you're working on.
That's right.
I remember, here's a beauty. Somebody says, so you have a t-shirt company? I said, no. Well, you have your apparel line? Yes. Well, what are you? I am an artist that uses a t-shirt as a delivery device, just like this banner is a delivery device. I am not a t-shirt company. I am not a t-shirt artist, but my art does go on t-shirts. So it's about reframing people. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That was a free one for you. I'll send you a bill.
The product is just the vehicle.
It's just a delivery device, man. I don't care if it's on a mouse pad or a sticker or a coffee cup tchotchke, silk screen on whatever, on underwear.
You gave me an idea. I'm almost like, gosh, could I license existing artwork to people? Like you put it on whatever you want. Just run it by me before you sell it. Make sure the color, the color is right, and it's not put on like something questionable.
Oh, right. I mean, I've had people reach out to me and like, I'll just use whatever. I don't know why I'm thinking about. Like, hey, I saw you had a 73 Mustang. I have a 73 Mustang. Can I use that? No, you can't. Well, why not? Because somebody else paid for me to create that, and that's specific to them. Now, I'll create your 73, but why can't we just use that and save some money? That's a conversation that you'd have to have with that person because they own the rights to it. Because every single project that I do comes with a project outline, and it says at the very bottom, not like a real estate contract, but all artwork upon completion is released on all levels and no part it belongs to them for any end use application that they deem fit with me having no holding on it.
Yep.
So,
and it's funny when you get somebody that's the way of asking you to use it to save money. I'm like, you know what road you're getting ready to turn down. It's like, I'm definitely going to get a flat tire. My exhaust is going to get ripped off from a pothole. Like, it's like, this is not the road I want to go down. And what's worse is the other thing that happens is, say I reuse a rendering, but I change it enough. I've done this with a pro touring client years ago.
There's nothing wrong.
Color, the grill, but what happened was, because it was like, well, you reused a lot. The price should be less. So I give you a little bit off, but there's still a lot of labor here. And then what happened? They sat there with the client and zoomed in on the rendering. Like, they didn't change that much. Why am I paying $400? Because the rendering full price is $1,000, and you're getting a rendering for $400. Now you're nitpicking, and then the client's not happy, and the guy did it for is like, why is this for? I'm like, you know what? I said it's free. don't contact me for work ever again. And it sucks because I did a lot of work for this guy for a few years. And I said, you're no longer a client of mine. And ran into the guy's brother at SEMA, and he wasn't in his booth. He goes, man, my brother really wants to talk to you. I'm like, sorry, we got nothing to talk about. I said, man, because how he treated me, it was like we built trust over the years, and I did a lot of work for you and made you a lot of money on design and custom interiors for his
Yeah.
cars. And you guys nitpicked over a couple $100 because you got a client that doesn't understand how this process works. It's like, I shouldn't have had to deal with that. I was doing you a favor. So the new goal moving forward was never doing this again. You get a new rendering, the price is the price, and that's the end of it. I'm not retreading anything. Never again.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yep.
not at all. And that's so important.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the beginning, the stuff I took on just to take on to fill in, make it just tremble. But you got to do what you got to do what you got to do. But there was also a lot of times when I got burned pretty good. Everybody's been burned.
Learning.
What's that?
It's learning experiences.
Like your $400 thing. It cost me $400 to learn that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because look, you've been enough of these shows where people want you to draw something and they want the cheap way out, and you already know, like, I can't be a charity. I can't do charity cases. I gotta eat too, man.
Yeah. No,
And by the way, I've been doing this for 28 years. Yeah, I don't need to practice.
I don't need to practice at
Here.
all. Yeah, no, right. It's wild. I was talking to that guy from South Africa today, and just listening to him just like unpack his just a little bit, it ran over. But that's kind of one of those things. Like he's already been there, done that. I don't even know if he would even though he's got a totally different discipline than you and I don't know if he'd even have a conversation like that with those people. Also, where he comes from, the culture is totally different. I'll never be able to get all of that like in an interview. I'm just grateful that he's keen on having one. Yeah. And I want him to come in and just explore, even though he's busier than busy, because he's doing this thing too. Totally different discipline. But I think it'll also be wonderful. I also want him in here because he will offer, I don't care if Puppy's in there.
Sorry.
It's fine. Lacey. Hi, Lacey. Yeah. Lacey. No. She's gonna blow me off. Probably can't hear me.
That's her little shade spot. Sorry. So your guy's super busy.
Yeah. It's all right, people. Dogs are welcome in this too.
Yeah.
I mean, but today's objective was not to solicit anything. Today's conversation was, let's just check in on each other. You just check in. And that's the other things that we do here. Yeah, we're doing this thing now, but you and I have a relationship outside of this thing. And just like the other people in the space, we got people in this community that are like mentoring others, or not mentoring, but like mentoring might not be the right word, checking in on each other because somebody needs a check-in, because it's okay to not be okay. And that you can be safe and say somebody else is like, hey, if you need me, you know where to find me. And they're doing those things. And I think that even in such a small space like this, that those things are happening is, well, it's pretty remarkable. So that's not me. That's the individual person that's serving hearts inside of the space.
Well, even when we just share like an experience we both had, I'm sure a couple times where you're working with a client, you have hopefully you have more good experiences, which I have, than bad. Not too many bad ones, but sometimes things happen and it's like, and I know you can relate to, we've had couple similar experiences, I'm sure. Yeah. It's nice to be able to share it with somebody like, I see you going like this, like, he gets it. He's been there. It's nice. It's just nice to know, like, I'm not by myself dealing with this.
No, I think what I've learned, like, like goals, my goals are, when I was a kid, it's like, when you're young and you're trying to figure out what it is to be a man, your goal is nice house, I want to have a new Mustang. You know, I want people to go by and say, man, he's doing well. That's when you're young, trying to figure out what it is to be, let's say, a man, for lack of a better. I can only speak to being a man because, well, that's my truth, right? But as I get older, that's not what wealth is to me anymore.
Nope.
That's that's idolatry. That's chasing idols. So like I have these things and you have these things, but they don't come at the expense of a hardship for people that you love and care about. It's about you're allowed to have this thing that brings you some pleasure, but no one's going without. There's still Cheerios in the cupboard and milk in the refrigerator. You get what I mean? But there was a time when I was young that maybe I was well, I mean, the best way I could put it is I belonged in a $5 lifestyle, but I was living an $8 lifestyle. And I didn't belong. I wasn't staying in my lane. So now I feel much more satisfied because I have my overhead where it should be. It's been this way. I wish that, you know, I could say I wish countries could run their budget like I run my budget, but you know, pretty good. And but it's that things are okay because it takes very little to satisfy as I get older. It takes less to make me satisfied.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm sure you got some similar thoughts about it. You know, I think about some of the things my dad used to say to me when I was younger. Like, gosh, if I knew what was it? If I was at your age and knew what I knew now, man, I'd be a millionaire, or things would be very different. You know, and that's how it works. You know,
time is wasted on the youth. Life is folly when you're a kid. But that's, you know, like your 20s, that's the decade of being an idiot.
Thank God we didn't have cell phones. My God.
I mean, well, yeah, but I feel terrible for the ones that do now. But I mean, never before in history have people documented themselves doing nothing so much.
Yeah, bunch of clickbait children.
My pencil broke. I can make a post out of that.
I'm going to talk for 20 minutes about my broken pencil.
Yeah. Or I could make a post, you know, 10 things I learned about myself while pruning a tree. But we see that.
Yeah.
So the only thing I learned while I was pruning the tree is I'm glad that my body is still able to climb up in it. Yeah. I know how to get back down. You just do going up in reverse. And joy of ownership.
Yeah.
Joy of ownership. Joy of ownership. You step back and you look at that apple tree and you're like, man, you're a darn good looking Cortland. There's not a prettier Cortland apple tree in all of Sharon, Vermont.
Or when you're torching the weeds and your stones, man, that flame travels fast when it's dry.
Yeah.
What did we learn?
Yeah. You know, and somebody could say, oh no, you pay people to do those things. You pay people to torch your weeds. You pay people to prune your tree. No, that you're talking to the wrong person. Until I can't climb up in there safely, or I don't have the dexterity in my hands, or whatever, or you know, my kids are coming up, and I believe in child labor. I mean, that's how you earn your keep around here. You know, you got to prune a tree once a year, but I don't know. I just it's just good. It's good. It's good for.
It is. That's why, you know, there's certain things I won't do around the house because I'm just like, I just don't want to do it. But I think I was gonna share this on the site, and I'll do it. But man, I learned how to do trim work. Like, really got good at it, and I'm like, man, I enjoyed it. I had no idea. So in the old 1929 house that I used to live in before moving here, we had a big garage in the backyard, and there was a loft above it, and it was all old 70s wood paneling and just awful. But it was a great room, very cool room. Even had a bathroom already in it with a furnace and everything up there. Wow. So we ripped everything out. Even my daughter helped, ripped it down to the studs and drywall, did everything. And it's pretty cool. I won't spill too many, but I'll show before and after pics. And it was like, man, it was a bummer got it all done, did freelance for 6 to 8 months, and then sold the house. I'm like, all that work, wood
Hmm.
flooring, all the wood flooring in it. It was crazy.
You ever see pictures of my tiny house that I built down by the brook?
No.
I did that during COVID. It was like a 2-year labor of love,
Yeah.
and I'll never build another. But it's not that I spared no expense. That's not, I did spare expense because I mean I it was cash and carry again, living within your means.
Yep.
I built it $300 at a time. That's why it took a long time. I didn't want a GC coming in and doing it, and I didn't want a tiny house kit. I turned into my inner designer from when I went to school for that, and I designed this tiny house. But I'll send you some. I'll do a video chat with you sometime through Messenger, and I'll just take you
All
inside of
right.
it.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
actually, if you go to my Facebook page and you click on my albums, there's a tiny house album page. Just go to it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And I just thought about when the whole world and the sky was falling.
Oh yeah.
It was therapy for me. I was in the backyard with my sawhorses, and I would spend a day to a day and a half, a week down by the brook working on this tiny house. Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. Yeah, it was the same thing when I did that loft. It was I took me about 2.5 years to get it done because I did it myself. I paid cash, bought the tools. The only thing I didn't do because I didn't want to do it, I paid to have a guy. I hung the drywall for the ceiling, but I
Tape.
paid somebody to come out and finish it and tape it
Yeah.
because man, and sand it. I'm like, I don't want to do it.
No.
Drywall sucks. I can do it. I just don't like doing it.
No, but you don't want to do it because you know what? Something as silly as you could get some of that dust in your eye. And I'm not
Yeah,
kidding. I'm
or
not
eat
kidding.
it.
I'll eat it. I mean, it's probably like baking powder. You could probably brush with it. It's like a pumice, but you
Yeah,
wouldn't want to get that in your eyes because you're an artist and you need your eyeballs.
but
That,
man,
that's what would happen to me. It would get
yep.
in my eyes. You know.
So to kind of get that fix and reuse that big saw that I bought, I'm gonna do the flooring downstairs in the current house and all the new the bottom molding trim. People are like,
That's
you don't do that? I love doing it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fun.
it's a creative outlet. You know, it's just like working out in your garage. Creative is creative. I remember
Yeah.
talking with my daughter about that. She says, and I know I shared that in one of our lives. She says, "Will I be an artist like you when I grow up?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? You professionally for a living?" She's like, "Yeah." And I answered that very carefully. I said, "Understand that when you take that and you ask it to make you a living, there is a shift." I'm
Yeah.
speaking to a 12-year-old, so I wasn't using that language, but I'm saying that to you.
Right.
Um, but at the very least, hold on to remembering how it makes you feel, because there are a lot of people out there that don't have that thing to go to, and they choose bad things instead. Like you know, like you, John. You choose bad things. No, but like like where do you want to be when you're not when you need to blow off some steam? You want to go outside and you want to go out into your garage and work on your cars. Like that's a positive outlet for you. You're not
Yeah.
going off and hanging out at a bar and spending half your paycheck
No.
um, and shooting pool and all that stuff. You might do that once a year on your birthday or something like that. But it's about
Yeah.
having a good outlet, a good healthy space for your head and your hands to be.
Yeah. Well, doing this, as being any kind of creative, man, sometimes can be tough getting started. Because first of all, you better really love it and have a hard passion for it because you got to earn how's that saying going? You got to earn your bones or you gotta put your
Yeah,
time.
you got to cut your teeth, man. You got to put in the time.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot of creatives that, and when I was doing it, that you started out making 100 grand. I mean, that's just you gotta earn it. You gotta work at it and hump. So, and
But make
I don't regret it. I love it. I love it.
No, but I mean, like, and those things will happen. When you get vested inside of an organization, um, it doesn't happen all the time when you're an independent. But
Yeah,
it's about where do you fit in. Some people just aren't designed to work corporate, and some people aren't designed to be hired guns. Um,
yeah,
I became a hired gun because it ended up being kind of the way my story had to be written, because
Mhm.
of like my personal life. And my oldest, now 27, but when he was a little boy, I needed to be here when he came home. There was a lot going on, and he needed that stability. So it really was a hard decision, but I bled by the choice. And you find light in those dark spots.
Yeah. Yeah, I started doing a lot of freelance in my 30s and 40s because uh, there was something missing in the day-to-day work life, that I wasn't empowered enough to, be the expert, or whatever the reason, or I wasn't getting the creative outlet I wanted. And, so I'm going to do what I want to do at night. And, I found out that clients were like, "What do you think?" And I'm like, "Wow, I don't get enough of that at work." Like they're just trusting me. Is, "Well, you're the designer. Look how awesome this." It was great, and it wasn't as much about making the money, although I did a pretty good on a bunch of jobs. But I just was doing what I loved, and I kind of fulfilled a fantasy of being a hot rod designer for a long time. And it led me to Chris and doing several SEMA cars, with working with General Motors. And and that was the goal. The goal time, like, I gotta find an outlet for this other creativity. you know, I started doing tech articles. I think I've been in like 80, 90 magazines. And it wasn't crazy money, but it was good. But it was, man, it was fun. It was so much fun. I loved
You
it.
know, in the sense of the adventure of it all.
Yeah, met a lot of people.
Yeah, and the willingness to put yourself in those positions.
Yeah,
Because I wrote a post about that, talking about, I love the chase, not the destination. It's give me the scent and take me off leash. I love being off leash. Now
yeah,
I'll come back to my partner, who I'm working for, client. Like if they're throwing the project, I'll
yeah,
grab that ball and I'll run back with the revision. I'm talking in metaphors now. That's a great job. Pat me on the head, throw the ball again, and then I bring it back with the next, right?
yeah,
But I love running. Now there are some people, in terms of life and never taking a chance, that they don't realize it, but they're at the dog park and they've tied themselves to their own fence, and they're watching all the other dogs run, and they're living
yeah.
vicariously through them, but they're the ones that tied themselves to the fence, and it's just a matter of going click, start running. Um, they're afraid of failure and of
Mhm.
judgment. And what would my peers think if they saw me out here doing this thing? Well, maybe you would, what is that, the right word? Inspire your peers. Maybe it would empower them by them watching you do this thing. But I would, and seventh grade is over. Who cares about it? Just go.
Yep. Yeah, I think it was only two times. There was the VP of the product development at Crayola. Didn't He found out. I told him on the interview, "Look, I do, this is the stuff I do. This is my side work. It doesn't interfere with anything I do." He never liked that I did that, and he had a hard time. I'm like, I was transparent from day one. He never said, "Oh, you said that's cool." Well, I didn't think it was a good idea, and I'm like, I get my job done very well.
Yeah,
Still do it.
I handle my 9 to 5, and whatever
Yeah,
I want to do
I
from my 5 to 9 is
yeah,
what I do.
yeah. He goes, "Is it not enough money?" I'm like, "No, money's fine here. It's great. Actually, very competitive. It's not about the money. I need an
No,
outlet. That's all it is." And I think even with GMP, they saw me there at SEMA being successful, and not Tom, the owner, but the general manager did not like it. And man, he started trying to put the screws to me behind my back with the owner, and, "You look like you're trying to take off and leave us." I'm like, "No, I got an opportunity. I'm having a good time. It's all on my dime." And
yeah,
it's like, geez, man. Oh well. Some people don't like it. They want to keep you all to themselves.
it's called throwing shade. Throwing shade.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
No, no, I got some lights over here. I'll shine them.
Yeah. I said, "Geez, Tom, am I not making you enough hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars with all my ideas?" Like,
Yeah,
right? You said that.
exactly.
And he goes, "No, you are." And once I turned the tables, I said, "When's the last time I got a raise here, though?" Yeah. How many of my ideas have you actually used to make products? Where's my royalty check?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then by the time we were done, he apologized to me. He says, you know, you're right. And he hugged me and he was crying. I'm really sorry. And it's all right, Tom. I know the score. I know what Mark's doing. We're still good friends, and I'm still friends with his son to this day. And they're hardcore hot rod guys, good people. You know, but sometimes business gets a little crazy, and you get the fly in the ointment. It only takes one person to mess it up.
That's right. That's right. I'll make sure that I leave all of this out,
Ah,
and
that's
nah, this won't even be posted to the community. This you mean, but I'm going to pull some gold from this and repurpose it and say, look what everybody missed. I hope your FOMO meter is broken. So
yeah.
I'm gonna want to just for for chuckles. I mean, I would, or not chuckles. If you don't mind, I'm gonna look at it tomorrow. It's only 4 pages, but it's four really easy in terms of the media packet. It's
Okay.
I would just like to share it with you. Very, very easy reading. Very, very, very easy. Like it's not it's not I don't want it to be anything that is too much work for somebody to even read. I have to keep telling myself that, like, you know, and I also really watered it down. There's no design elements in it. It's the message, but in the background you can see members of communities' faces. This is just a prototype. I'll want to ask everybody's permission if I can use their picture. I can use mine. If I can use yours, that'd be great. But ours aren't in it. But you'll see them in just in the background, and the wording is over the
Yeah.
top of them. I'm just curious if you'd read the words. What
Yeah.
I'm shooting for, like I had shared with you before, is, you know, when you get to a certain age, AARP kicks in, and then I get to order a special meal off of Denny's, or I get 10% at Home Depot. The whole idea is writing this in a way of, we would like to introduce ourselves to you as a plus one to what you're doing. We would love to come alongside of what you're doing, and this is what we're doing. And I'm trying to dial in on that message and what that means. I don't want it to feel like a funnel. I don't want it to feel like a pitch. I want it to feel like we see them as bringing value to what we're building, and vice versa. Like it's something nice. It doesn't have anything in there about the avatar we're looking for. That's
Yeah.
my job, to pick out who I think would be our avatar in terms of communities. And this isn't something that I'm sending to an individual person. I'm sending this to the director of this or that or whatever, for them to read and then put that and then to run it down through.
Yeah, that's great.
But have
That's
it
awesome.
playful enough. And maybe you'll look at it and you'll be like, it reads good. Look, do screenshots, get onto it with a pen and cross around like an English teacher. It
Yeah.
won't break my heart. If I send you an editable file because this is in my affinity suite, then I'm going to totally get lost. But if I can
Okay.
give it to you and you just were to like circle an X,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and I just want you to look at it, and
Yeah.
you might
No problem.
say, it's cool, maybe a different font. Like, I don't know. And all right.
You know, it'd be a pretty cool thing to add. I don't know how fancy you want to get, but you know, QR codes are pretty big. Would it be neat? Would it be just a simple QR code that would go to a video? You have like an intro video, I think, talking about the community. Like if you're a first timer and you do it,
Yeah,
and it comes up.
that's on the landing page,
Ah,
and it opens up to a YouTube. And that was on my old 1080 camera. I've got a 4K camera now. I got to make sure all my nose hairs are trimmed before I ever come on.
get the nose mower out and get it
Yeah.
fixed.
You know, I noticed you and I have the exact same look going on.
Yeah. Hold on.
Uh,
Um,
we got this thing. Mine
yeah,
changed. Next week it'll all be gone, and I'll just have the little thing here. And my kids will be
yeah.
like, "Why do you keep that there?" And I'm like, "Helps me play the trumpet better."
Oh, I had a goatee for many years. I like just the round goatee, and eh, this is fine.
It is.
Nice.
It is. All right. Well, listen. This was like one of the best throw up showdowns I've had in a long time,
Yeah.
and it was just you and me, and that's fine. Thank you for showing up here. So you're good with
Yeah.
Wednesday, Saturday at 4 EST.
Yeah.
with
Yep.
Carrie.
So that
All
would
right.
be 1 o'clock
I
our
guess
time.
so. Right now it's 8:44 here.
Yep. 5:44 here. 3 hours.
Dumb time change stuff. So yeah, it'd be 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
Yep.
I wanted
Sounds
to be
good.
able to put that in, and then after that, then I will send him the option to stay here, and then that's when you'll be like, "Don't be freaking leaving.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Come
stay.
on, man.
You gotta stay. At least stay for a while and post some stuff, man. Post some stuff.
Yeah. He'll man. He's walking content. This the stuff this guy will have to talk about will be good stuff.
Good,
So,
good,
yeah.
good. All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna cut you loose, and thanks for showing up here. And yesterday we just chalked it up to education, and I'll always keep. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we drop the whole time zone change thing.
No worries.
It ends. We don't do it anymore. It's dumb. But, all right. Thank your wife for letting you run over with me. Go burn some weeds.
She just got home. So
All
we're
right.
good.
Cool.
All
All
right,
right,
man.
man. I'll talk to you
Take
later.
care. Good night.
Good night. You too.